now from political analyst Kamel Wazne, who joins me live from Beirut. So, Kamel, thank you so much for joining us. First off, I want to pick up where I left off with Paul, talking about a possible ground invasion. Is that likely to happen given the volatile situation that we're seeing, the intensity and the magnitude of attacks that Israel has been conducting within the last 10 to 12 hours, and the fact that there are thousands of Israeli soldiers now positioned in northern Israel?
Of course, everything is possible with Netanyahu, nothing off limit. But nevertheless, if he committed to ground war, that would be like a miscalculation, I think, by him and by his forces. And I think the Lebanese been ready for that confrontation since 2006. I think it's going to be very difficult war if it happened right now. What it seemed to be heavy airstrikes against every place in Lebanon, massacres been committed against the Lebanese people. I came from a small town, hardly you can find 30 men in that town, and they had like 30 airstrike on that town. It seemed to be a madness by the Israeli. They want to inflict a lot of fear and pain against the Lebanese, and the number of casualty in terms of injury and death is very high, considering the operation hasn't been launched less than maybe like 12 hours.
So what do you think Israel's endgame is here with this offensive now that they've conducted in the south of Lebanon? How widespread do you think it's going to get?
Nobody can really think what Netanyahu and his backer wanted at the end game, but I think they launched a massive campaign, and probably it's something has to do with maybe inflict a heavy losses on Hezbollah and the fighter of Hezbollah. And second of all, he wanted actually to separate the fate of the people of Gaza from Lebanon. And he wanted, thirdly, to move the Palestinian from Gaza altogether, and they wanted to silence that front, because this is really the only front is really standing with the Palestinians since the start of the war. So it's a very, very difficult operation, and I think this is can mushroom into a regional war if probably the United States, the backer of this Israeli operation, will not get in and stop that madness. It seemed for almost a year we've been like killing innocent people, children, women, destroying home, and everybody is clapping from the U.S. to Netanyahu and his machine power, and supply him with all the money and the backing at every level. It seemed to be ridiculous what is taking place. There is a huge massacre at the Lebanese front, and I think Lebanon is not Gaza. Even there is a heavy toll so far on the Lebanese people.
Indeed, and this is all happening in light of the UNGA that's being held in New York right now, with world leaders expected to take the stage to address the global audience on Tuesday. But in reality, many of those leaders will, without a doubt, touch on what's happening in the south of Lebanon today. But in reality, will it make a difference on the ground?
I think what speak right now is how much the resistance is able to inflict pain on the Israeli, as the Israeli are launching major airstrikes. Hundreds of airplanes actually participate in bombing areas throughout Lebanon, and they actually now they started bombing the suburb of Beirut and try to assassinate and intimidate and kill people at every front. I think if there is a major counter offense from the resistance, probably this is the only voice maybe Netanyahu and his government will listen to. But before a few days, probably we will not see any ease in this confrontation between Lebanon and Israel. There is a lot of room for escalation. It seems that the United States, the Pentagon, the U.S. government always back whatever Netanyahu does at the expense of innocent people, innocent children, men and women been slaughtered on the street, safe on their homes, been attacked by massive Israeli airstrike, and weapons continue to flow from the United States non-stop to Israel.
Okay, political analyst Kamel Wazne, thank you so much for being with me here on the News Hour and sharing that analysis with us.